Famous people and Hollywood celebrities who passed away in the United States in 1969. This is the fifth episode. Before we proceed, please subscribe to our channel to support us. Judy Garland. She was born in June 1922 and she died in June 1969. Her age was 47 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was barbiturate overdose. Judy Garland was an American actress, singer, and vaudevillian, renowned for her contralto voice, emotional depth, and versatility. Garland rose to international fame as Dorothy Gale in The Wizard of Oz in 1939, a role that cemented her status as a Hollywood legend. Garland began her career as a child performer in vaudeville alongside her sisters as part of the Gum Sisters. At age 13, she was signed by Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer MGM, where she starred in numerous musical films including The Wizard of Oz in 1939, Meet Me in St. Louis in 1944, Easter Parade in 1948, and Summer Stock in 1950. Known for her collaborations with Mickey Rooney and director Vincente Minnelli, her second husband. Garland became one of the MGM's most bankable stars during the golden age of Hollywood. Beyond her film career, Garland achieved success as a recording artist and concert performer. Robert Taylor. He was born in August 1911 and he died in June 1969. His age was 57 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was cancer. Robert Taylor was an American film and television actor and singer who was one of the most popular leading men in his era. Taylor began his career in films in 1934 when he signed with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. He won his first leading role the following year in Magnificent Obsession. His popularity increased during the late 1930s and 1940s with appearances in Camille in 1936, A Yank at Oxford 1938, Waterloo Bridge in 1940, and The Town in 1943. During the Second World War, he served in the United States Naval Air Forces, where he worked as a flight instructor and appeared in instructional films. From 1959 to 1962, he starred in the television series The Detective starring Robert Taylor. In 1966, he assumed hosting duties from his friend Ronald Reagan on the series Death Valley Days. Taylor was married to actress Barbara Stanwyck from 1939 to 1952. He married actress Ursula Thies in 1954, and they had two children. A chain smoker, Taylor died of lung cancer at age of 57. Ben Alexander. He was born in June 1911 and he died in July 1969. His age was 58 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. Ben Alexander was an American motion picture actor who started out as a child actor in 1916. He is best remembered for his role as Officer Frank Smith in the Dragnet franchise. After a number of silent films, he retired from screen work but came back for the First World War classic All Quiet on the Western Front in 1930, in which Alexander received good notices as an adult actor as Tamarick, the tragic amputation victim. Earning from the film allowed him to attend Stanford University. However, 3 years later, in the midst of the Great Depression, he was forced to leave school for lack of funds. He found a new career as a successful radio announcer in the late 1940s, including a stint on the Martin and Lewis show. Alexander also acted on radio, playing Philip West in the 1939 to 1940 soap opera Brent House on the Blue Network. From October 1950 to January 1951, Alexander hosted Party Time at Club Roma, a nightly late-night television show on NBC described as part through or consequences type stunt show and part talent contest. Natalie Talmadge. She was born in April 1896 and she died in June 1969. Her age was 73 at the time of her death, and the reason for her death was heart failure. Natalie Talmadge was an American silent film actress who was the wife of Buster Keaton and sister of the movie stars Norma and Constance Talmadge. She retired from acting in 1923. She was the younger sister of Norma Talmadge and the older sister of Constance Talmadge, both of whom became film actresses. She appeared in D.W. Griffith's Intolerance in 1916, The Passion Flower in 1921, with her sister Norma, and Buster Keaton's Our Hospitality in 1923, her final film appearance. Talmadge married actor Buster Keaton on May 31, 1921 at her sister Norma's home in Bayside, Queens. They had two sons, Joseph Talmadge Keaton and Robert Talmadge Keaton. After the birth of their second son, she decided not to have any more children, resulting in the couple staying in separate rooms. Keaton accepted this and they agreed that he should keep any affairs discreet. Late in the marriage, Keaton's career began to suffer after his contract with Joseph M. Schenck was sold to Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer. After the couple's divorce was final on August 10, 1933. Lambert Hillier. He was born in July 1893 and he died in July 1969. His age was 75 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was undisclosed. Lambert Hillier was an American film director and screenwriter. He worked as a newspaper reporter and an actor in vaudeville and stock theater. During World War I, he began working in motion pictures and became prolific director and screenwriter, working on many silent-era westerns by William S. Hart, Buck Jones, Tom Mix, and others, often associated with producer Thomas H. Ince. Hillier expanded into romantic melodramas and crime films in the 1920s. In 1936, he directed two chillers for Universal, the science fiction film The Invisible Ray and the cult horror film Dracula's Daughter. He directed the first screen depiction of Batman, a 15-part serial produced in 1943 that was re-released as a theatrical feature in 1965. He directed many B-movies for Columbia Pictures in the 1930s and early 1940s, including the westerns that were his specialty. Hillier directed at least one episode of Highway Patrol, which starred Broderick Crawford. Willie Ley. He was born in October 1906 and he died in June 1969. His age was 62 at the time of his death, and the reason for his death was heart attack. He was a pioneering writer and historian of rocketry and space travel, playing a key role in popularizing space exploration in the mid-20th century. The crater Ley on the far side of the moon is named in his honor. Ley was also convinced by Oberth's book that he sat down at the age of 19 to write a popularization of its contents. He also began corresponding with every known rocket enthusiast in Europe, including Oberth himself. Ley became one of the first members of Germany's amateur rocket group, the VFR Spaceflight Society, in 1927 and wrote extensively for its journal, The Rocket. Ley would eventually become the group's vice president during a time when it had no active president. Meanwhile, he was writing hundreds of short articles about rockets for German and foreign newspapers. Due to the influence of Ley and other popular science writers such as Max Valier, Germans witnessed a short-lived rocketry fad in Berlin. From exhibits as public locations to large spectator events such as Fritz von Opel's rocket car stunts. The German public was excited about the future possibilities of space travel and potential for new weapons of wonder that could revive the German Empire. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Have a nice day.